Hello, this is not a spring chick of Bikini Czar. And remember, we have been talking about, I know all of you would love to see small swimsuits like this all the time. And we talked about the caution that we do exercise and practice. And that's why we did the separate Bikini Czar side. Because we had so many videos up. I know, and only, you know, here's the challenge with covering news. Is that, you know, for news, you try and cover the event. But what happens is, when you cover it, and maybe it's commentary, maybe it's, well, let's say, Glenn Beck, or people at Fox, who Fox is supposed to be right, but they're so right, yeah, that when they say something that's about the left that's too bad, they are taking vacations.
Yeah, they take many vacations at Fox
I know,
if they say something.
But seeing it, I mean, they've been talking about, for example, like the different entities, where, you know, you wonder, it's like, how much control do advertisers have over content? Well, actually, they're not supposed to.
Well,
However,
it's supposed to be forbidden.
Yeah.
They years ago they removed the advertisers from direct control over content because advertisers wouldn't let anything controversial on.
Right. But see, part of it, here's the challenge is they went to the commentary talk shows because those were the ones that people were watching the most.
Yeah. And they're the ones that charge the highest prices for...
because they have the largest viewers.
That's right.
And people are watching it because it's controversial. So when the advertisers pull back, well, then they go to something that's not as popular or not as watched as much. And then the same thing happens with magazines. So with magazines, the advertisers may pull back because they don't like certain things. But then the question is if the advertisers are pulling out because they do or do not like things, how true is the content that you're receiving?
Well, the truth basically, okay, if an advertiser can control the content of the news no longer can represent what is the reality. It represents only the reality of the sponsor. And therefore, I mean, I go back, one of my instructors ages ago was Edward R. Murrow, the dean of the broadcaster industry. And he told us basically, if the advertisers controlled the news business, there would be only news that reflected positive on the advertisers. So, I mean, CBS News, for instance, is known. If you go, all you got to do is go back and watch a thing that was done with Russell Crowe about the cigarette industry and how the cigarette industry basically caused stuff to be done.
Really?
Yeah, because they had that much power. They were advertising everywhere. So they just simply, you know, news that reflected a positive view of the cigarette industry was what was being done.
Well, you know, that may be why 60 Minutes has lasted for so long, because of their investigative reporting. And you don't see as much investigative reporting as there used to be because it takes a long time.
Well, it's because it's
Possibly.
like, but it's like in our case, it only takes one disgruntled interviewee to remove 3,000 interviews from the internet. One. So that's the whole trick, because it's like in our case, we try to, you know, if you read the rules, that even if you win the case, even if you were to win in court, the server that carried your videos is not required by law to put the videos back up. They'll say that it says right there in the fine print that if you win this case in district court, we are not required to replace the videos. You know, you can replace them. You know, one at a time. Nobody does it.
Well, see, here's the challenge: is first of all, you can replace it, which nobody does, and so if you're having financial problems, you just basically wiped out all of those videos, right?
Yep.
So you made it easier. But part of it is when you work with companies like that, they can, first of all, they're paying for the bandwidth, so
Yep.
they can choose to have you on there, or they can choose not to have you on there.
Yep.
Right?
It's their.
They're paying for it.
You know, and then it also works the same. You know, it no matter what it is, the server, it's their sandbox.
You're playing in their sandbox.
You're playing in their sandbox, and if they don't want you in their sandbox, they throw you out of the sandbox. And they do it because they're trying to protect themselves from litigation, which in effect always results in litigation, which is the most ridiculous thing. We know people that basically went to court against them and won, and they busted themselves in the process.
Yep, because so part of it is you just repost it and start all over.
Yeah.
Because they don't prohibit you from doing that. but here's the crazy part is they still have the videos.
Yeah.
In fact, they grabbed the videos, even though we brought down on YouTube, they grabbed them from another location.
And put them back up again.
But here's the challenge is you can go through and fight all that, but if you know where the source is, it's kind of like in Hollywood, when an actor, actress get a reputation for being very difficult to work with, eventually what happens is nobody wants to work with them, right?
That's right.
Same thing with companies. If a company has a history of ripping people off,
Yeah.
and it gets around enough, they cease to be in business.
That's right. I mean, it's a horrible thing. And then, like I tell them too, like the way it works when you have your videos yanked, you can, for any reason, you can go to the district court, and the district court issues a suspension, which basically says they have to put the stuff back up, but then they already said they don't have to put the stuff back up. By agreement, you agree that they don't have to put them back up.
That's right, which you've already signed.
But because you then get the thing, order them to put it back up, the people that ordered that they be taken down then goes to files a court case against you, and you have to go to court and pay for the court. You have to pay for all that money to win the case on the material you own, to put the material back up again, of which they have already said they're under no obligation to put up, and you agree to it.
See, part of it is you can own the rights to that material, so it's not a copyright infringement, right?
Yeah, but
So even if you own the rights, because they provide, it's their sandbox, they don't have to, even if that was the reason that they used to take it down, whether it's a complaint, a copyright infringement, or whatever reason, because we do know, and we will tell you this, is that if you have a video that gets too many hits, too fast, and if they can consider it under some terms of,
basically, we've got lots of things. Basically,
They can
terms
just
of
move
service, violation of terms of service. They create the terms of service of which they say can be changed at any moment.
and they interpret the terms of service.
Yeah.
So guess what that means?
You can't win. Period. It's because they'll allow you to put the very same. It's meant to keep the lawyers off of them and to cause you grief. But they don't really remove anything. They just simply, take everything. They suspend or delete your account and then let you put them back up again. Basically, it's to keep them from being sued and costing them money. Because it's a theoretically possibility that a company, say you had MSN pull videos, and then you sued MSN. MSN, in the event that it was going to lose massively in a court, like in the billions of dollars because of a class action suit, they simply come back and say, well, the videos are still there.
Yep.
All you have to do is look, and they're still there.
And see, by the time you get to that point, guess how much time and money has already evolved.
Yep.
Which means whichever customer base, because this happened with somebody else. They had this name, they wanted to go back under that name.
Yeah, and you can't go back under that name. So, you've lost it, because the one thing they won't let you do is they won't put it back under the same account, because they give you the option of just opening up another account.
I know, doesn't that all sound so crazy? So part of it is, if you're asking why things are the way they are, and why do we know so much, it's called, we deal with this every single day.
That's right. And our policy always is, if somebody's unhappy with the video, we pull the video immediately. We don't even bother with anything, but still to get,
But it does kind of piss us off when they complain and they get all of them yanked.
3,000 videos yanked yesterday, but they weren't yanked because they're still there. I found them all last night. I found we have 4,800 videos on the internet. I found 4,550 of them. So.
I know. So such is the case with the internet, because there's one thing about the internet, is we're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And for more information, if you always want to know where we are, come find us at www.montybubbles.net.
On the internet, she did my line again.
What? I know. Or you can come follow us on Twitter. But here's the key: is we'll tell you. If you're ever curious, just go to our main site, because we will have things to direct you.
Yeah,
to where
we've
to go.
corrected it where to go, and we're also going to make the next correction, because since I found where they're all setting, where you can go to one-stop shopping.
Yeah.
So.
You can find it. So chat.
I can let you go.